down. The law was killing us. We had to fight for voting rights. We had to march and fight for this stuff. We didn't get representation. Equal representation is something we still are not getting. And that's something they wanted to point to, because you can look in Congress right now, you can look in the Senate right now. There is not equal representation. The reason why this is put in there is for what's happening today cannot happen. And this is where corporations can come in, and we have lobbyists. And this is how they're trying to get around the whole thing. You got corporations, you got lobbyists who can come in and lobby for certain things to get passed for the people. Representation for Black folks has been greatly reduced in Congress, and they make sure, you can run all day long. They're making sure that we're not heard, or even if we are heard, which is one of the reasons why they let us march and everything like that, nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done. We can point to so many government laws and things that have been passed to hinder Black people's progression. It's one of the things that they're citing in this whole reparations thing. But then, they're going back to Lincoln, and that's the major thing, as I was talking about in the last video, with the whole Freedmen's Bank and everything. It's one of the things you got to go back and look at. You got to go back to the foundation document, the beginning of this thing with Lincoln, and what was originally promised and put out there. And, we wasn't given it. So if you go back, 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, this is what abolished slavery. And it says in 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be thenceforward and forever free. Nonetheless, the Emancipation Proclamation did not end slavery in the nation, since it only applied to areas of the Confederacy currently in a state of rebellion. And it says here, and not even to the loyal border states that remain in the Union. Lincoln recognized that the Emancipation Proclamation would have to be followed by a constitutional amendment in order to guarantee the abolishment of slavery. So then we have the 13th Amendment was passed at the end of the Civil War, before the Southern states had been restored to the Union, and should have easily passed in Congress. However, though the Senate passed it April 1864, the House initially did not. At that point, Lincoln took an active role to ensure passage through Congress. He insisted that passage of the 13th Amendment be added to the Republican Party platform for the upcoming 1864 presidential election. His efforts met with success when the House passed the bill in January 1865 with a vote of 119 to 56. So now it says here, on February 1st, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln approved the joint resolution of Congress submitting the proposed amendment to the state legislature. The necessary number of states, 3/4, ratified it. By December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment of the United States Congress provides that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment of crimes whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. And I talked about this. With the adoption of the 13th Amendment, the United States found a final constitutional solution to the issue of slavery. The 13th Amendment, along with the 14th and 15th, is one of the trio of Civil War amendments that greatly expanded the civil rights of Americans. Again, this is important. And as I said, this is one of the reasons why I'm liking so far what I'm hearing from a lot of people who's arguing these points. Again, you have the 14th Amendment, you have the 13th Amendment, but we got to look at the 13th Amendment. And again, what happened? It's talking about slavery or involuntary servitude, except as a punishment of crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. I think we all understand. So what happened? They came up with an entire system to basically make us slaves again. And then people are not seeing it because, one, person commits a crime. But you got to remember, one, a lot of this is documented now, and it's one of the things that's being pointed out of the thousands of Black people that were just rounded up, and thrown in prison. Now, one of my favorite movies of all time is Shawshank Redemption. And a lot of people got to understand, the message they're trying to give you in that movie. And it's the movie, remember, you had prison labor, and he was going out, he was basically underbidding contracts because he was using free prison labor and he was making money. And he had Andy Dufresne who was helping him basically launder that money. That's basically what happened with black people after slavery and what they was doing. Chain gangs, locking black people up and having us work for free. See, it's different now where we can have a paper trail. Courts is different. But back then, you got to look at, they was just driving around and rounding people up. See you on the street and you was homeless, they would just throw you in chains and throw some bogus charges on you. Or if you got so hungry and you stole something to eat, they would give you a life sentence or 20-year sentence for stealing a piece of candy. And this is what was happening. And this is documented now. And it's one of the things that has been coming out in this whole argument about how they basically put in the 13th Amendment that you can be enslaved once again if you've been convicted of a crime. When we look at the prisons and we see, 70, 80% African American, that should tell you something. When we see black men being taken out of the household and it's causing a spiral effect in, the black community, where you have all these single black moms raising these black boys and, the strong black man or the father figure is taken out of the house and these men don't know how to, be men because their daddy was never, raised as a man or taught to be a man and, probably spent most of his life in prison. The effects is documented. The effects is something that we all know and can be proven. And it's one of the things that they've been pointing to recently to say, you guys had a whole system in place, not only to deny us what we were supposed to get after slavery, but to keep us enslaved. And then when you go really step back, because I talk about this a lot, and you look at the entire system, the scope of it, even if you're not in prison, basically, this is still a slavery system. So where, hey, we're working, yeah, we got jobs and we can pay our bills and rent and what have you. And what are we working for? We're working for white corporations. Some of them have been around since slavery. Some of them wouldn't exist today without slavery. And we still working for these companies, these corporations, and making these people crazy money. Yeah, we get money, but we're not getting nowhere near what we should get or getting close to being able to compete with these companies, corporations. And then when we try to actually take our skills and stuff that we learn to go and get a bank loan to open a business, we're denied systematically. This is done on purpose. Denied. You want to open a business and you're black? No. And this has been documented and it's been done for a long time. So, one of the things is people calling out for, entrepreneurs and for businesses to be open. And we all understand this. And we just look around and we say, well, it's not that many black businesses. What happened? And that's what happened. Banks denied us. First, they put us in a position to where, we lost our unity. So before, as I talked about, you had a lot of wealthy black leaders and black people who was financing businesses and financing a lot of these people to open businesses and to do anything, whether it was a protest, a march, or what have you. This was rich black folks who was financing this. Once they got them out the picture, there was nobody left to finance us. There's nobody left to go to finance a black endeavor or a black business. So as I said, with the unity that we had before, desegregation, civil rights, what have you, we had that unity to where we can go to these black people because banks we couldn't go to. You got to think, who did you go to back then being black to open up these businesses? Because we had a lot of black businesses and that's what it was. We had, rich black people who would loan out money for these things. And that stopped once you had integration and everything and people trying to fit in with this white system and working for white people. And that's what happened. It basically crushed that economic, stronghold we had as far as having wealthy blacks, help us out. And what do we see today? The wealthy blacks that got the money now, they ain't doing too much. And most of them are athletes, entertainers, and, the rappers are basically teasing you with what they got. They're not really loaning out money to, a lot of people to do something on that level. So it's a systematic thing. Systemic racism is real. And it's a systematic thing that has been done that we can point to and say, it's part of the reason why we deserve this money, these funds. And it's being argued really well from what I've been reading. So you can use your imagination and just think, you don't even got to, you just understand the trickle effect that racism has played on the advancement of black people from, since slavery and just so many different things we can look at. Jim Crow in itself. mean, just think about that. I remember, talking with my son and talking with my little cousins and them, not even believing that it was true. What? Blacks only, whites only. And it's crazy. It's just something that you can't even fathom today that such a thing would exist. So yeah, some of the things I wanted to point out in this video. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab this membership, get it out the way. $7.99. You can't beat that. Easy to take care of. The link didn't work yesterday. It works now. So if you tried yesterday, try it again. It will work. Make sure you guys take advantage of this. Again, I'll try to get out a video before this sale ends, but I'll put out enough to let everybody know who has registered. Just take care of it, get it out the way, and it's definitely gonna be worth it. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to watch. See you next video. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We got a lot coming up with Merkabah Academy and a lot to get into in this video, so let's get into it. I know a lot of you guys have been enjoying the games, but there's a lot more games to come once the site is complete. We are nearing the completion of Merkabah Academy, and the site will be done September the 9th. We will upload the full completed site. This is your chance to get a Never Pay Again membership at an unbelievable price, $7.99, and we'll get into that in a second. There's a lot of accounts on Merkabah Academy, so we're giving everybody a chance to upgrade to Never Pay Again membership. If you are not a Never Pay Again member by Monday, your account will be deleted. But no worries, if you can't afford the $7.99, you'll have a chance to re-register 10 days after the site launches. Also, the new Merkabah Academy app will soon be available. You will get notifications and alerts. You will also be able to upload your favorite music and edit your course experience. Now, as I said before, we'll have teachers on Merkabah Academy. A few of you I'm already speaking to now. But if you would like to become a teacher on Merkabah Academy, make sure you send me an email. If you have anything to teach, if you have a skill, send me an email to Merkabah Academy. If you want to teach on Merkabah Academy, you'll have a chance to earn some money. You'll be able to interact with your students, as well as send out course materials, mass messaging, and a lot more. Merkabah Academy will be global, so even if you're overseas and you want to teach or you want to join the site, you'll be able to do so. So now, as I said, Merkabah Academy, this is your final chance to get Never Pay Again membership for $7.99, an unheard of, unbelievable price. This is your chance to get it. This sale will end on Monday, will be your final chance. We have to do this because we have to flush the site of members, and we don't want to get rid of anybody who's a Never Pay Again member. So it's a lot of dummy pages, it's a lot of dummy subscribers. We have to get rid of those people, and we have to make sure that everybody who is on the site is engaged in the site. I know it's a lot to take in, but the site is almost complete, and we appreciate your patience and support. Thanks for watching.